Are you ready to upgrade to the home that fits your family best? Take the first step of that process by giving my girl Stacy Westfall a call. She's partnered with Kaiser's Sweet Home Realty in Howard County, where they have the knowledge and resources to help you reach your goals. Stacy has quickly become a successful realtor in our area, and I'm so proud of her. She's not just a friend of mine, she's a mother and a local firefighter. Buying and selling a house is stressful, and having someone professional and trustworthy in your corner can make all the difference. Give Stacy a call today at 765-461-1243 and follow her on Facebook at Stacy Westfall Realtor.
This is Jonathan Keith, and you're listening to Missing Midwest, a true crime podcast about those that have gone missing. Today's story is about an impressive pre-law student at St. John's University in Minnesota. The mystery of his disappearance leads to multiple dark rabbit holes, but one thing we know for sure, someone knows something.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah.
Quite the intro there.
Yeah, thank you. I work on my intros, They matter. Let's hit some announcements right quick, because this case is a doozy. This is one that's going to live rent-free. There are so many theories on this one that have weight to them. So at the end, I can't wait to be like, what's your theory? Like, I want everybody to chime in with their theories.
So if you're not a subscriber, you should subscribe, because the case we did yesterday on Murdered Midwest on Fridays connected to this case.
Yeah.
So there's some theories that connect the two.
For sure.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Hey, thanks. If you're listening to this the day it comes out, I'm one day away from being 33. Still enjoying 32 here.
So old.
Wow, gee, thanks. Couple announcements right quick. If you're thinking about some Missing Midwest merch for Christmas, either buying it for somebody else or somebody getting it for you, this is the time to buy it. Because when you get orders, I think they'll take orders through November, and then they'll ship out towards the end of November. So if you want to have it before Christmas, now's the time. I'll put the link to that in the show notes for sure. Like Kayla mentioned, subscriptions are only $5 now. You get stickers and fan mail from us, and then you get access to over 50 episodes that are locked right now.
There's some good ones in there.
Heck yeah, there are.
What's your favorite one? Real quick.
The OJ ones were probably like the ones I was most hyped about doing from the beginning, just because it's like controversial and football related. But over the time, there's been a lot of just crazy stories that we've done. If you saw on Halloween Day, we posted a graphic of the 5 craziest people, or the 5 creepiest killers that we have encountered on Murdered Midwest. Going back and finding those cases, if you decide to start a subscription around this Halloween time, it might be solid. It's definitely it's a wild world out there, people. Like, these people are crazy.
Watch your back.
Yeah, seriously. But yeah, no, there's been a lot of murdered episodes that we've done that have just been like, I can't even believe that
I know
happened. Yeah,
people
it's awful.
suck.
Yeah.
Also, sorry about the Thursday Thrills Halloween. The
goal was to tamper with your trick-or-treating experience.
Yeah.
So I hope we accomplished that.
Yeah, we wanted you to have to look at. Honestly, I was like, you need to write a story. I have said my entire true crime life that I'm surprised there isn't so much more crime committed on Halloween when everyone else is dressed in a mask. And so, cute creepy white van driving by, but I don't know. I think it'd just be easy to pull off a crime when everybody else is dressed up and in a mask. And so Johnny pulled that story out, and I was like, "Yep, that'll do. That was creepy. I ain't going trick or treating by myself. That's for sure."
I hope you guys enjoy.
I also think
Thursday Thrills
in a mask is probably committing a crime. So, but yeah, that was fun. Thursday Thrills was fun.
Yeah, Cody nailed it. Cody understood the assignment big time.
Cody did. We were like, Cody, here's a creepy story.
I was like, Cody, I wrote this creepy story. I'm going to read it, and I want you to put sound to it. And that's basically all the instructions we gave him.
Yeah, and he nailed
he turned it into
background noise.
Yeah.
He did so good.
Yeah, shout out to Cody for sure.
Maybe we'll do more. Maybe we'll do I don't know, we could do some holiday ones.
Hey, listen, I love writing, so you just say the word boss.
Okay.
I'll make it happen. Speaking of shout outs, just gave a shout out to Cody. I'm going to give another shout out to Minneapolis, Minnesota. Sorry, I'm sure you hate when people say it like that, but our listeners up there in Minneapolis, ready for this? Minneapolis is our 4th biggest city in the world in terms of downloads for Missing Midwest.
What?
Minneapolis, represent up there. I appreciate that.
Wow.
And for that reason, I wanted to do a case in your area. Typically, I like looking at random stats, and sometimes that leads me to where I'm going to go for our cases.
Well, if that's the case, I was just looking at our stats, and somebody listened in Hong Kong.
Respect.
It says Hong Kong, 1 download. And I was like, who are you? What episode did you listen to?
Please follow us on Instagram and tell us where you're, like, seriously, if you're listening to us right now.
And you're from somewhere cooler than, like...
I don't care where you're from.
Yeah, that's true.
Follow us on Instagram and comment.
If you're outside of Greentown, Indiana, like, I need to know where you're from. Let's do a roll call.
Let's do a roll call.
I'm going to post a roll call because
that's good. This is good. I like this idea.
A pen pal.
Even if you are in Greentown, I want to know where you're from. You don't put your address. That's creepy. Don't put your address in there.
Anyone put their address, but
just
I
like
know,
your city. Just your city.
But I want to connect with someone from another country.
That'd be cool.
If there's somebody from another country listening to me podcast from my stinking kitchen table, that's awesome. Tell me where you're from.
That'd be pretty cool. I like this idea of a roll call. I'm going to make sure that you don't forget this idea because there's a strong chance.
1,000% I'll forget it, right?
All right. So our Instagram is missing.midwest. Okay. You'll see the M in the cornstalk there. I recently posted a post of Kayla and Raylan looking super cute.
You post a picture of us.
So you can find that on there. But you'll see a lot of the stuff that we have posted for Missing Midwest as well. But again, it's missing.midwest.
Get on there and tell us where you're from.
There's going to be a roll call post coming. I'm going to make sure this happens. Let us know where you're from. But for today, we are adhering to our Minneapolis fans up there because we appreciate you guys listening. And so I'm not going to lie to you. What I started with was, okay, let's do missing cases in Minneapolis. And hear me when I tell you, I have...
You got to be careful over there.
More research, have followed more rabbit holes. Like, Kayla and I were going to split this week. And I was like, I'll do missing, you do murdered. When I started going on my Missing Midwest episode rabbit holes, it led me to Chris Jenkins, who we did yesterday on the...
Murdered.
On Murdered Midwest. Yeah, it was one heck of a rabbit hole that led to another one. I was like still working on Joshua Guimond's case, but then I'd put like 30 or 40 minutes into Chris Jenkins already because I was just like, what happened next? Like, what? Tell me more. And then it was just like, you know what? I'm going to keep going and I'm going to do both of them. So Kayla got this week off. But
I didn't do anything.
Yeah. A lot of cans of worms that I kept opening up and just kept researching it. And yeah, the more I found, I just wanted to dig deeper. So we're talking about the upper Midwest in the early 2000s. And there were several others that could have fit the bill. When I say several, I mean like 40 others. All college-aged men all around Interstate 94, which runs through Minneapolis. I wish that we could do more about the smiley face killer, like just to throw that out there. But if you're not familiar with the smiley face killer, it is a theory more so than like a suspect. Like there are a lot of missing or people found dead up in the upper Midwest around Interstate 94. They've been found in bodies of water. They are
like young men, bodies of water,
usually
after a
night of drinking. Yeah.
And so there's actually like I said, there's some like evidence behind this. This was like a theory that came about from there was some retired police detectives, and then like some other guy, I don't know, I was saying earlier, I need to look up, I don't know if he was like a professor or an FBI dude or I don't know, detective, whatever. But they like basically they have this theory that there's a serial killer or serial killers, and these young men have been going missing in the Midwest. They're always found in bodies of water, and there's usually like a smiley face like spray painted nearby, which is hard to like put much stock into because there's like smiley faces graffitied everywhere. But there's like 50 cases.
But when you start looking at like all of your coincidences, all of your consistencies, and that's one of them, like surely you got to bring it up.
There's like an official list of like cases that they believe could be the smiley face killer, and it's literally like 50 people.
Yeah, and I mean, using nearby as a relative term, the case that we did yesterday, Chris Jenkins, there was a smiley face found near where his body was found.
Yeah. And like I said, there's like the list of like the official cases that like these group of people actually think there are. But then like anytime a young man goes missing, everybody's like, wait, could this be a Smiley?
Well,
so like we did Chance Engelbert in one of our missing cases. He went missing in, was it Nebraska?
Yeah.
And so people have like, I mean, he's never been found, but people have been like
speculated,
that could be that.
And that is something that continues to like be tossed around with different current cases. But back in the early 2000s, the 50 men that we mentioned were all upper Midwest along Interstate 94.
Yeah.
That's where, Chris Jenkins' situation happened. It runs through Minneapolis. He actually went to the University of Minnesota, and investigators believe that his case is linked to several others. Unfortunately, after going missing, his body was found in the Mississippi River 4 months later. His case was initially ruled an accident or a suicide by law enforcement, and then police shocked the Midwest 4 years later when they reclassified that case as a homicide for a whole bunch of good reasons that we talked about yesterday. If you have ever considered starting up a subscription, like I know we talked about it already in the announcements, but if you've considered a subscription to Murder Midwest, Chris's story may be worth it just by itself, especially if you're listening in Minnesota. A subscription is only $5 per month, and it comes with stickers and fun mail from us. You get access to over 50 other exclusive episodes. All those little locks that you see on half of our episodes when you scroll down, those are all going to disappear if you start a subscription.
You get to hang out with us more.
Oh, yeah.
And you help us.
Yeah, it helps us too. Supports us and it keeps this podcast going. Yes.
$5.
Yep.
Thank you.
Helps us keep Cody crushing it.
Helps me keep Cody. Helps me keep doing this podcast. Helps me buy groceries.
There you go. Supporting small business. There you go. I will tell you that if you're planning to join, if you're like, you know what, I'm sold. That sounds like a good idea. It may be best for you to listen to yesterday's story before this one. So listen to Chris Jenkins first, then this one. If you have a subscription, listen to his first before you listen to this one. However, this story does just fine standing on its own. So if that's a hassle for you right now, stay with us. This is going to be
I don't know anything about this. I know about the three. There was 3 young men that disappeared within like a 10-day span of each other in Minnesota.
Correct.
I know those 3, and I know he's one of them, but
Yep.
I don't know about them individually, so I'm ready for you to tell me.
Yep. And there are some dark theories, along with the smiley face killer. But there are some other dark theories surrounding this case, and we're going to have to get into that. Buckle up.
Okay.
St. John's University is an all-men's private Catholic college about 80 miles northwest of Minneapolis. While the living quarters and academic buildings are all pretty tight, the land that is included in St. John's campus is massive. Enrollment there is only about 1,500, so it actually has less students than Taylor did.
That's tiny.
Yeah, it's smaller than Taylor University in terms of students, which is crazy. Now, it's only guys. So, like, that might change thoughts about a little bit. They do have a sister school called St. Benedict's. It's about the same size student-wise. So, between the two of them, it's about 3,000. But St. John's campus is 1,500 dudes. All right? Here's the crazy part about St. John's. It has about 3,300 acres.
Whoa.
That makes it the 28th biggest university in America in terms of acreage.
All that room for, and
Great
there's
question.
Not even any kids there.
Great question. To put it into perspective, the University of Mississippi, good old Ole Miss, is the 27th biggest campus in America, and they have over 170,000 students. So 10 times more students, but only slightly bigger in size. Kind of crazy. Wow. However, most of the land on St. John's campus,
missing on the land alone.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. Yeah, it is huge. Most of the land is like pine forest and lakes.
Yeah.
So like that covers the vast majority of what the land that St. John's University owns. Yeah, I mean,
nothing. It
looks beautiful from like pictures that I saw. So I mean, there's like natural wildlife stuff that they've got going on, but like, yeah, it's huge. St. John's is considered by many to be like a prestigious school in Minnesota. There are several politicians who went to St. John's, as well as many aspiring politicians that are there today. That's going to bring me to today's case. Joshua Guimond was a junior at St. John's in 2002. Hear me when I say this guy was going places.
Okay.
This dude wasn't just well liked. He impressed like everybody. That was probably the most common word that I found in all of my different sources, was impressive. Like he was just impressive. Voted most likely to succeed in high school, class president, gets scholarships to go to St. John's. Like he is like a stud academically. He's a stud with his friends. He was a good athlete in high school. Popular.
Was he cute?
Yeah, good looking dude. You know,
I didn't think you were gonna answer.
You know, tall, about 6'2", blonde, blue eyes. Like that's the way you got to go. You know, that's the way to do it.
Blonde hair, blue eyes.
Yep.
I
So
like me some blonde hair, blue eyed man.
all right, relax. So he gets to St. John's and he, you know, plans on getting his college degree and then pursuing a law degree, going to law school after this. And he had big dreams. He wanted to be a senator. His grandmother had been a senator, and he like inspired to follow her footsteps. And you know, people joke about running for president. Like that wasn't a joke to him. Like he was like, I want to become a senator and like run for president. He was, yes, that was, and from everybody talking about him, they were like, he was gonna do it.
Wow.
Like he was a very, very smart, you know, well spoken, hard worker, just like that guy. You know, and so, like I said, impressive was the word that I found most often about him. So he was on a mock trial team, which I guess like a debate team, only maybe a little bit more intense. And he was said to be just incredibly, again, impressive. He would win awards, like even in college, like he had won award, like a few months or weeks before he ended up going missing. Like he had just won like some big awards. He had pictures with his dad in the award, and you know, like he was like the guy. Like everybody that knew him was just like, yeah, he is the man. So just had so many friends, loved hanging out with them, confident person, had no problem being outspoken and direct when it came to things he cared about. Right. Like if he felt like he needed to step up for something or he needed to defend any point in any of his classes or debate team, whatever, like he was just known for being very well researched, very tactful, very well spoken. Like everyone knew like this guy is a lawyer. Like he hasn't gone to law school yet, but like he is going to be like a top-notch lawyer, top-notch
So he
politician.
wanted to be a lawyer and then be a senator.
Yep.
And then, okay.
Yep. Like nobody doubted that politics were like in his future. Yeah. Just impressive. So everything's going well for him in November of 2002. It's on a Saturday night. He had a few options for that evening to go different places and hang out. So his high school sweetheart had gone to the sister school, St. Benedict, that I mentioned earlier. And while their living quarters were on a separate campus, so like St. John's, all dudes, St. Benedict's, all girls, like you could still go back and forth. They actually would have classes that intermingled too. So they actually had a class together. Yeah, but so she had invited him to a party at her apartment complex. Now, the couple, Joshua and Katie, they had actually broken up like at the beginning of the semester, but they remained like super close. They'd been dating since they were like a sophomore in high school. So at this point, what is that, like 4 years, 5 years they've been dating.
Taking the classic college break.
Yeah, I guess something like that. So yeah, they had broken up and they still hung out and stuff. So she had invited him to a party. She invited his roommate to a party. Nick was his roommate. She invited both of them to the party. Nick was like, yeah, let's go. And Joshua, I couldn't tell if he said that he was going to go or that he was thinking about it, but he eventually decided that Joshua was going to go to a different friend's house and they were having like a poker tournament that night. Okay. Which I love me a good poker tournament. And so Nick's like, hey, I'm going to go and go to the party. He's like, all right, that's cool. I'm going to go play poker. All right. So they kind of split up. Josh goes to poker. Now the party that Josh was going to is like a 5-minute walk from his apartment. So like right across campus, like very short distance. So 11 p.m. at night, Josh left his apartment, goes over to the poker party.
Do you remember leaving at 11 p.m.?
Oh, yeah. And just being like normal.
I'm asleep at 11 p.m.
Yeah.
If I'm like at 11 p.m., there's a problem.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's like
I'm definitely not leaving my house
if we're still watching Tracker at 11 p.m., it's like, Caleb, this is the last episode.
And tomorrow's going to be the worst day ever. I'll be so tired.
All right, so he gets to the party. There's like 10 and 12 guys there. He knows a couple of them pretty well. He knows most of the guys there. There's a couple guys that like it was the first time he met him, but like all this group, they're all like most of them are from St. John's. Like it's a close group of guys, like having fun playing poker. Everybody's having a good time. There was some drinking, but nobody was like wasted. Like nobody was drinking excessively. Just kind of casual drinking. There was a point after midnight where Josh gets up and leaves.
Okay.
Didn't tell anyone. Like guys that were playing,
fully left?
just
left the poker table.
So he ends up fully leaving.
Okay.
Which is very strange to everybody. Like when he got up, like the guys that he was playing with thought like he was just going to the bathroom or getting a drink or something. But then he just like never came back. He just left.
Okay.
Yeah, and he has never been seen again.
What?
Yeah, that
You just
that is the last known whereabouts of Joshua Guimond. Like,
okay.
yeah,
Like,
we've got a lot to go through here, but
yeah, my mind
yes,
is spinning.
yeah, that night, like just casual, and family, friends are all like, that is so not like him to like
not say bye.
to not say bye, to not just to not say bye, but not to be like intentional about like what he's doing next. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like if I was leaving, I'd be like, all right, like I'd dab up on my like best friends, like give them hugs or something, just like, hey man, like I'm calling it tonight. Like, and that they said that was the norm for him. Like if he was gonna leave, like he would make a point to be like kind and respectful to like everybody else. Be like, hey, thanks for inviting me, like that kind of thing. And there was none of that. He just like got up and left. Very, very like unnormal or uncommon for him. So like that's like weird number one. Like they didn't even realize he left. Like he didn't announce that he was leaving. So right out of the gate, that's weird.
Okay. So many questions.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you need to let me go because we got a lot here.
Okay. Bo Digital is the secret ingredient you need for success in marketing your small business. From logos and flyers to social media and videos, Bo Digital can create the marketing you need to set yourself apart. Oh, and they build websites too. Not only do they help my small business, but did you know that they help many others around Kokomo too, including Solidarity Community Credit Union, the Lindy Owsley and Chanel Cahill Real Estate Team, Hope Behavioral Services, and even the Kokomo Symphony. Let Bo build a custom plan for you today. Learn more at bowdigital.com. That's BOWE digital.com.
Josh's roommate, Nick, told you he went to the other party, right? He gets back to his apartment around 2:30 a.m. and he noticed that Josh wasn't back. It's not weird. This is college. Yeah. He's at a poker party, like just 100% assumes like still playing poker, like go do your thing, bro. However, when he wakes up in the morning, he's not there still. And now this is a problem because that Sunday morning they had a mock trial. And like I mentioned, he took this very seriously. Like he was like the quarterback of the mock trial team. Like he was here, he was
trial on a Sunday morning.
Yeah. I mean, college, but like he's like trying to, like be the best at this. This is not something that he wants to miss. Yeah. So like right out of the gate, his roommate Nick is like, holy cow, he's not here. Like he's not coming to the mock trial. Calls Katie, calls people, like nobody knows where he is. He immediately like is like, we need to report him missing. Like calls his mom, calls Joshua's mom. Is like, we need to report him missing.
Good friend.
Yeah. So November 10th, 2002, his parents report him missing. Like right out of the gate, like less than 24 hours. And people take it seriously because they're like, holy cow, like this kid is like an upstanding human being that is like, absolutely, there's reason to be concerned here on college campus.
To be clear, this is November 10th, 2002?
Yes.
And yet the case you did yesterday was November 1st, 2002?
Yes. This is exactly 9 days after Chris Jenkins was reported missing.
Okay.
From the University of Minnesota.
Okay. So how far away are these
80 miles.
So 80 miles away, 9 days ago, another student was reported
Correct.
missing. Okay.
Both on Interstate 94.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So as soon as Josh was reported missing, police go to his apartment. They find his wallet. They find his keys. His car is parked in the exact same place that it had been. They look at the key access codes and find out that he has never been back to the apartment since he left at 11:06 the night before. Okay. His glasses and contacts were still there. So, like, I mean, he could see without them, but, like, he's not going to, like, try to live without them. They're, like, right away, they're, like, he did not run away. Like, he didn't take any of his money. He didn't take anything that he had. Like, 100% did not run away. So, like, foul play is, like, he's either on campus somewhere, which is a small campus, and they're, like, doing their due diligence there, or something bad happened. So, yeah, like, they're taking it seriously, like, from the jump.
That's good.
Yeah. No evidence whatsoever that he ran away. Like, we have a problem. Like, we got to solve this. Mm-hmm. The problem is they find nothing that suggests foul play either. So the walk between the poker party and his house was about 5 minutes.
And what's the kind of, like, is this, it's on campus though? Like, they were not in the wilderness.
Correct. I mean, so
We're
honestly,
not,
so we mentioned how like vast this campus is.
That's what I'm wondering. Like
really, like everything is really tight. Like it looks, when I was looking at it, it reminds me of Taylor's campus. Like everything is like
so the
real
campus
close.
is in the middle of okay.
Yeah, and then there's just like a bunch of land.
Wilderness. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, the 5 minute walk, I mean, it's like that's nothing, you know. And in fact, that night, like as they're asking around, they ended up finding that this couple that was walking around that night saw somebody that matched his description to a T from what he was wearing and everything around 12:30, which is about the time that he got up and left the party. Mm-hmm. They saw him walking on campus and he was alone.
Okay.
So like that jives with the timeline. Again, you're talking about a 5 minute walk. Now you got to cut whatever time off from how far they saw him walk until his apartment. Mm-hmm. You're talking about an even smaller window. So like smaller than a 5 minute window here.
We've seen small windows before.
Yeah. He's gone. Vanished. Like they were like, yeah, we saw him.
I hate.
Yeah.
So you're adding to the rent free in my head case.
Yep.
Because.
Yep.
Which we have another one in Minnesota rent free in my head too.
Yeah.
Is
Brian Swanson. Was it Brian Swanson?
No. Brandon
Swanson. There you go.
Brandon Swanson and Brian Schaefer confused.
Me too.
Now, Brian Schaefer, I've not mentioned the smiley face killers in any of the cases that I've done.
College student went missing after a night, though.
But
right.
it was something that was thrown around, yeah.
For sure. So November 11th, the day after he's gone missing, armies of people ready to search. They're like, this is our guy. Like, we are gonna find Josh. Like, that was like the mindset. Like people from his hometown, like all kinds of people were coming.
Was he from
like
far away or
no, he's from Minnesota. And so literally hundreds of people come by. Like, it is the biggest search in this county and surrounding areas that like anybody had ever seen. Like, people are like filing in to search
like a
for
campus,
Josh.
Probably. Like,
well, again, it's 3,300 acres.
So they're looking. I'm sure they're starting there.
Yeah, for sure. They're going everywhere. And, you know, they have lakes being dragged. They have dive teams deployed. Like, it's cold up there in Minnesota in November.
It's cold. He couldn't have gotten far.
Exactly.
Without a car.
Exactly. And so they're like, we don't have a lot of time. Like, if he did get lost somehow out here, which, like, doesn't make any sense, but if he did, like, we're going to find him. So
what are they thinking? He's lost? He's drunk? He fell? He's hurt? Like, what? I mean,
at first, they're thinking, oh, he was drunk and this is an accident. Okay. Like that's what everybody thinks about.
Did the people all say he wasn't that drunk then?
Yeah, everybody's like, he wasn't like hammered or anything. Like, they were all drinking. Some people said like he couldn't have been feeling more than like a buzz. Like, he'd only been there for like an hour and a half. And so like, no, that like he was not like trash. Nobody was like, oh, he can't walk. Like, that was not a thing. So yeah, all these people come to find Josh. And something that I will always think about when I think about this case is that the dads just like work together, and like that's just hard and amazing to see.
The dads?
Yes. Oh. The dad of Chris Jenkins.
Oh.
Yesterday's case. And Joshua Guimond's dad, Brian.
They connected and stuff?
On November 11th, which again, 10 days after his son's missing. At this point, they hadn't found his body. Yeah, so his son is simply just missing. So he's like in Minneapolis.
We're connected.
Well, I mean, you'd think 10 days, like you're still working in Minneapolis trying to find your son.
Yeah.
Then he finds out that there's another missing kid at a college campus. Mm-hmm. He pays for them to get a search dog up there at St. John's. Yeah. And I'm gonna love this search. You know how I feel about dogs and search dogs and all that. So yeah, he was doing everything possible to find his son, and then he hears about another missing kid, another father going through the same thing he is, and he like reached out to offer help. So he pays for this search dog, name is Hoover, already a fan. All right. You know how I feel about the search dogs. I'm gonna believe whatever this dog does. You know this.
Yes.
Okay. So the dog pretty much immediately finds Josh's scent.
Okay.
And he leads them through the path that Josh would have taken back to his apartment. So they're like, my dog, yeah. Now, while it was just a 5-minute walk, there was like a stretch where it's just like the road surrounded by pine trees. I forget what they called it, like the pine shelf or something, where it's like we had like the loop on Taylor's campus. It's like a part of campus. It's just like a long row of pine trees, and there's a road that goes down it.
Okay.
So like he had to like walk down this road for a really short stretch to get to his apartment complex.
Okay.
Again, 5-minute walk. So like you're talking about being on this for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So the dog goes to that stretch on the pine shelf where nobody could see him. I mean, nobody from campus would be able to see him in between these pine shelves. Yeah.
So if you were going to snatch somebody, you'd do it
Perfect.
right on that stretch.
Yeah, it'd be a perfect spot.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Loses the scent.
the dog gets there. No.
Oh, okay.
Goes straight to a lake.
Oh.
And then goes straight to an abbey.
A what?
An abbey.
You lost me. What is that?
An abbey is where the monks from a monastery live.
What?
St. John's Catholic University has a monastery or they call it an abbey. It's where the monks live on a Catholic university. So the monastery on campus at St. John's has several monks that are like professors at the school, but also just like they're monks. They're Catholic monks. Like, you know what a monastery is, yes? It's like what is it? There's one in Kokomo for the nuns.
Oh my gosh, the Poor Clares.
The Poor Clares, yeah. So that's for nuns.
Okay.
Okay.
So I gotta do a pause here and talk about the Poor Clares in Kokomo. Okay.
Oh gosh.
So like we deliver flowers to them because we're a flower shop, and so you go there, and it's a monastery, and so they all live there.
It's a nunnery.
Or a nunnery. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, this is called the Monastery of the Poor Clares.
Oh, is there guys there too?
No.
Oh, I just
that's why. So that's the funny part, because like when with my dad or your dad or somebody delivers, like the men, like they literally have to like go up and they like put the flowers there, and like a little lady like opens the window and like it's like thank you, and then they close the window, and then like the men can't go in, and so they can't leave this area. It literally got barbed wire fencing around the entire thing. And so I was actually talking to somebody because I was like, what? I didn't know about this until we got the flower shop and started delivering flowers there. But one of the ladies that worked at the shop, she like was friends with one of the nuns, because like there was a certain nun and she always orders the flowers. And so she had like made friends with her over the years. And so like they literally like sleep on horsehair mats. And
it's pretty weird.
She's allowed outside for 1 hour a day to like tend the garden. But other than that, they pray the entire time. Like, eat, sleep, pray. And only, like, the higher-up nuns get the privilege of, like, going to tend to the garden. And so, like, we deliver, like, at Easter, we deliver peace lilies. And then for Christmas, we deliver poinsettias. And so, like, the higher-up nuns, I don't know what, like, the ranking system is, but, like, the ones that get to use the phone to call us to order the flowers. So and it's, like, I don't want to say, like, you do what you want. If you want to pray all day, fine. But like, it's like all they look forward to. And she's like, they literally go and they like they take very good care of these plants that they buy because they have nothing else to do, I guess. And so they like turn them with the sun throughout the day. And they just like tend to these like Christmas poinsettias and make sure they're looking good. And like, but they're only allowed to do it for an hour a day. The food delivery drivers have to like leave the food outside, and then they go out and get it after they leave. It's very strict.
Yeah.
Like it's a thing. So yeah. I'm picturing this this is the men.
Okay. So let's just say that the St. John's University Abbey is nothing like that in terms of how strict they are.
Oh, okay.
I think it's supposed to be.
So you're saying that the men don't have to follow the same
No.
I'm shocked.
It's supposed to be that way. I have heard of many abbeys before and monasteries that are, like you're saying, very strict. They don't talk to anybody else, like all that.
Yeah.
I've heard this before. The St. John's University monastery, abbey, whatever you want to call it.
Professors?
Some of them are professors. Again,
I don't think
so like the campus, they're not leaving. They don't leave.
If they're professors?
It's on campus. The abbey is on campus.
Yeah, but
so like you could
at the Poor Clares, they can't even leave the building.
Okay. Yeah, it's not that tight, but like some of these people are professors. Some of them work on campus. Like it is a monastery or a abbey. It's called an abbey for the monks. But yeah, so
if his scent went to it,
goes right up to it.
Were other people allowed in it?
The university's like you're not allowed in there.
Oh, okay.
But as it would have it, there have been many priests and members of the Catholic Church that have definitely earned a bad reputation. Right?
Listen. If you're about to tell me that are you about to
These
say
guys
my,
wrote
are you
the
about to say
these
the
guys
C
wrote
word?
the book.
You're about to say the C word?
No, cult.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying that.
Oh, I love a good cult story.
But listen, these guys wrote the book on bad reputation. All right. It was a known fact that there were many monks in the abbey that liked their alcohol, and some had even been known for drinking and driving regularly.
Oh.
This was actually so well known that the police looked into this theory as a real possibility, but they found nothing. There were no tire marks. There was no evidence of anybody getting hit. They looked into it pretty closely. I mean, they were on it, right? They were on it. But yeah, they were yeah, that is a possibility for sure.
So they're not the best monks.
No, and it gets way worse.
Oh.
Ready for this? 18 different sexual assault allegations against monks from St. John's.
On an all-boys campus?
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
Guess who was in the middle of a big research paper exploiting all of this?
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Joshua Guimond.
So you're saying the other C word, conspiracy.
I mean, again, I don't believe in conspiracies. I go with stuff that makes a lot of sense.
I love a good conspiracy.
Yeah, to me, I don't.
Catholics
I buy
are covering up a
either.
murder on campus. So, this is like a Netflix,
It's sketchy, is what it is. All right. So yeah, guess what they found when they looked on Josh's computer?
The Catholic cult conspiracy. What?
You calm down and just listen to the story.
Yeah.
Dang it. Guess what they found on Josh's computer?
Probably a list of names of people that he was blackmailing or something. I don't know. Just trying to think of the next Netflix.
No.
The most cliche thing that could happen. What?
They found nothing.
Oh.
They found nothing.
That's even
Someone
worse.
had gone through and deleted around 300 files and erased all of the internet history.
Shut the front door. Are you kidding me?
So here's
Where
the thing.
was his computer?
In his apartment.
What the hell?
So listen. There's no way to know if Josh had done this himself or not.
Why would he have done that himself?
Because he may or may not have been heavily involved / spearheading a whole fake ID operation.
What is happening?
Which to me
What is going on?
To me that's who cares? If I found out somebody was making fake IDs, I'd be like, dang it, dude, stop it. I wouldn't be this is something that we should take criminal measures to stop. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Nobody's getting killed over making fake IDs, right? So I want to put that in there right now. Nobody's kidnapping somebody because they made false IDs. That's not happening. So those were erased. The internet history was erased. And back then they had this thing that you could download, and then it would just erase all of your internet history ever. It's you had to download it off the internet. It was a program. It would just wipe all your internet history.
This happened on his computer.
This had happened on his computer. Again, he could have done that. People do that. He knew his way around a computer.
You said he was writing a paper?
They found no evidence of this research paper.
This paper hadn't been turned in yet?
But his roommate Nick was I couldn't tell if he came before this happened or right when it happened. But his roommate Nick went to law enforcement and was just so you know, he's in the middle of this huge research paper. Nick knew about it. His best friend and roommate knew about it.
Yeah. That
he was involved in this huge research paper exploiting all of this stuff that had gone on with the monks at St. John's. There were several guys in and out of the apartment all the time. So Josh was not the only one that had gotten on his computer. It was Josh's computer. He didn't necessarily like other people getting on it, but it happened sometimes. People would get on his computer. So it is possible that somebody else in the apartment complex could have erased the files and clear the internet history. Like, that's all possible.
Okay, but
yeah, doesn't look good.
Yeah.
Okay. And like I said, like, Nick went to police and was like, dude, just so you know, he was in the middle of this paper. So as soon as Hoover, my dog, literally a dog, Hoover, hit on the Abbey, the police are like in a tough spot because they're like, the university definitely not going to like this, but we got to look into this. Yeah. So the university didn't want anybody in the Abbey at all, but the police are like, yeah, we're going to do our job. So they came, and campus police had to let them in the Abbey. They let Hoover continue to do his thing. They're like, hey, he's got us this far. Like, let's let him go. And he goes into the Abbey, and he goes back to the back of the Abbey, right behind one of the buildings, and that's where he loses the scent.
Oh my God.
However, that is like the extent of their search inside the Abbey. Ultimately, that led to nothing else. No suspects, no more leads.
I think we have 18 suspects.
Nothing.
Here.
I mean, right?
And they're all living in the same house. Like,
yeah, Josh's dad was like furious about this. And he wanted the university and the police to do so much more. He wanted them to do so much more in the Abbey, like all this. A couple months after Josh's disappearance, the university just like came out and said like, hey, we have searched our 3,300 acres. It has been searched thoroughly, and we have found nothing. Like, there will be no more searches.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, Hoover was not welcome back. They were like, we don't want you bringing any more other outside sources for these searches.
Sure you don't.
Yeah. They actually ended up filing a restraining order against Josh's dad, Brian, because he was having like none of this. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
So fast forward in time, like almost 20 years, because it's a 22-year-old case. Wow. Brian, Josh's dad, sues law enforcement to gain access to certain investigative files because he's like, hey, you guys aren't doing anything.
Yeah,
like,
let me see. I hate when they don't want transparency.
Yeah, and so they're like, might as well let us see.
Like,
You're
watch
like, maybe
me
you can
become a
open
police officer just so I can see this.
However, the court ruled against the release of these files because they said that it would tamper the investigation, to which his dad's like,
you're not even investigating.
What investigation? Yeah. Yeah, like, he's like furious about this.
Literally, watch me become a monk just so I can go live in that building. Yeah. Watch me become a police officer just so I can have access to these files.
Yeah.
22 years.
Johnny, question for you.
Yeah.
If I was somewhere in Kokomo and it wasn't our house and it wasn't the flower shop, where would I be?
Easy. Humble home.
Yes, you're right. You guys, listen up. Humble home is my absolute favorite place to be for so many reasons. No matter what I am looking for, I always check Humble home first. Clothes, shoes, toys, decor, furniture, makeup, they literally always have something that I need. They have brand name items for cheap. Their inventory is constantly changing, so it's part of my weekly routine to do a Humble Home walkthrough. You absolutely need to stop by. I promise you won't be disappointed. While it is a discount store, it's not your average discount store. It's clean, organized, and everything has its place. I get zero anxiety when I go in, unlike other discount stores. And no matter what you're shopping for, a home project, gifts, home decor, even seasonal decor, they will have it. They are open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Sunday from noon to 5. You can follow them on Facebook at Humble Home Kokomo and watch for new items every single day. And for our Lafayette, Indiana listeners, I have exciting news. They're opening a second location in Lafayette soon. As soon as I have the details, I will let you know their opening date. Get excited.
So, I'm not sure this has ever been like stated publicly, and maybe it has been, but I read in two of my sources that the university's stance was that like Josh must have died in an accident, probably involving a body of water. Now, the lakes.
Did they search the?
They did. They drug the lakes. They're big. I mean, it's Minnesota. It's like the land of a trillion lakes or whatever.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
But they drug the lakes. They had dive teams. As the winter came on, they were eventually like, hey, listen, like, we're going to, call it off for the winter. He's freezing.
Yeah.
Like, if he's in the water, like, he's frozen. When spring comes, science happens, gases happen.
Yeah.
He'll float.
Show up.
Yeah. In fact, like, his dad, like, in the spring was, like, kayaking out in all these different lakes, like, every day. Yeah.
Tell you.
And so,
Parents of the missing, I cannot.
Yeah. And, they never found him. Like, his body never came. But yeah, like I said, the stance of the university is accident, probably involving a body of water, on his 5-minute walk back to his apartment. Like, I don't think so. Nobody really believes this.
No. I want to know, did you like Google Earth this? Like how close?
It's not that. I mean, it's close, but it's not that close.
No,
Like
I mean, like how close to bodies of water was the walk?
on the other side of woods,
It was like far away.
you would have to walk through woods
Okay.
to get to the water. I didn't see like how far it was, but it wasn't like, oh, I could slip off this road and fall into the water.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah. So at this point, I have only delivered about a theory and a half. Like, you know me, I'm always going with the dogs. The Abbey is Sketchville, USA to me. Like
Literally.
Like
I'm voting
Yeah.
Catholic cult right now.
Like I hate that whole situation so much because we obviously have bad guys in there.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't like it either. However, we have mentioned before, like you have Chris Jenkins that disappeared on November 1st. You have Michael Knoll who disappeared on
Gosh,
November
Ever
6th.
since you started going on this, I haven't even given the smiley face killer another thought.
I know, right?
I've been on the Catholic
like
priest,
Yes,
like-
yes. So like I said, 3 college-age men went missing late at night.
Yeah.
2 of them were found in bodies of water, all within a 10-day period, all within 100 miles of Minneapolis.
So you're about serial killer on
So
campus?
I mean, like
and there's so
the
many
smiley face
things
killer
that came-
has to be a theory. Like that is a relevant
has to be,
theory.
for sure.
Has to be relevant. You cannot dismiss that, right?
Nope.
Within 10 days, 3 missing men, 1 interstate, all about 100 miles away from Minneapolis. Like coincidence? Like really? You know, like
No.
that's tough. As tough to
I've
dismiss.
been drinking.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
walking alone.
Yeah, and there's more that go along with all that with yesterday's case if you listen to that episode. But like Michael Knoll's body was found in a lake near where he went missing. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. My problem with this theory in connecting all 3 of them is that Josh's body was never found, at least not yet, and just the sketchiness of the Abbott and the research paper and
Abbott?
all that stuff like that.
The Abbey?
I'm sorry, the Abbey. Yeah, the Abbey. The Abbott is the head of the Abbey. That's just hard to shake for me, but like, you know, I definitely think Chris Jenkins and Michael Knoll could be connected. Both. I mean, like, it's tough. Again, there's almost 50 cases like this.
I was gonna say
Like
it's
we could
really-
have done 50 cases like this. You do a year's worth of Missing Midwest on this.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think about. All right, so there are 2 other pretty significant theories. So we have
Jeez.
serial killer, we have crooked
Oh my gosh,
like
there's
Catholic
so many
priest.
C's in that.
Yeah.
The
You need to relax with
campus-
this. You're not good at this. Remember the whole Missing Mountains Midwest thing? You need to stop. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to read.
That was mean.
You're twisted it around like 38 times.
What makes it was it's
I gotta tell you my other significant
the
theories.
campus cult conspiracy Catholic
Yep.
theory.
Should have stopped.
Yep. Okay.
So again, 2 other significant theories, and I'll tell you which one law enforcement believes, and it's not one of the 2 that we've already talked about.
Okay.
So one theory is that him and his best friend were in some pretty rocky territory. Nick, his roommate.
Okay.
Like I mentioned, Josh and his girlfriend Katie had recently broken up.
Well, when you said Nick went with Katie, I was kind of like, oh.
Yeah. So Josh and Katie were still close, and they would still hang out. And his best friend and roommate Nick was also still hanging out with them. And there was some chemistry brewing between Nick and Katie. And
Okay.
Joshua didn't really like that,
Okay.
which, like, fair enough. Nick and Katie had actually kissed.
Ooh.
But they had like decided not to pursue a relationship, at least like not at that time. However, like I mentioned before, there was a party at Katie's house that night, and Nick went. Joshua didn't. He went to play poker.
Mm-hmm.
Like being spicy about that kind of seems like a reason to just like get up and leave. Like I wouldn't necessarily be like, all right, guys, hey, I'm out of here. I'm gonna go yell at my roommate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
mad,
saying? Like,
annoyed.
yeah. So like that kind of fits. Also, when they like are trying to figure out what happened and stuff, and they're talking to everybody, police talk to Nick, and they're like, hey, like when did you leave the party? And he was like, I left the party around 2. I got back to my room about 2:30, which like key cards show like he gets to his room about 2:30.
Okay.
All right. When they were asking Katie, like, what happened? She was like, yeah, Nick came over here. Nick left around 1.
Mm.
Which, like, again, 1 is still after when he was seen walking on campus around
Yeah.
12:30. So, like, I do not subscribe to this theory, but there is a discrepancy. Like, law enforcement, they didn't like that discrepancy one bit. They're like, you left a whole hour of time wide open there. So yeah, they didn't like that.
I
And
don't like it. Though,
so-
because,
right immediately they asked Nick to take a polygraph, and he's like, no, those things are not reliable at all. Like Nick is featured in there's an Unsolved Mysteries episode on Netflix about this.
Okay.
And Nick and Katie are both in it quite a bit. Like Nick's a smart guy, well-spoken guy. He was like, yeah, I'm 100% not taking a polygraph test.
Fair.
Like those, like for the same reasons we say not to.
Good for
like
Nick.
From the jump, he was like, and at first he was like,
And neither should any of you.
well, and at first too, he was like, why do you need me to take a polygraph test? Like, am I a suspect? Am I a person of interest? Like, I don't understand. I'm doing everything I can to help. Like, I'm looking for my friend here. So they schedule him for one, and like he doesn't like protest them scheduling it, but like when it comes, he's like, I'm not taking that.
Yeah.
Which is like fair. But then they treat it as like, oh, we scheduled it, now he's backing out. Like,
okay.
yeah. So, but like from his point of view, he was like, no, I never committed to anything. They just signed me up, and I was like, no.
Yeah.
Which is fair. So yeah, like I don't like that theory.
I don't either.
All right. So there is one more theory. And honestly, I wouldn't have mentioned this theory at all unless, or except for the fact that they talk about this in the Netflix episode. And this is actually the theory that the law enforcement believes is a factor.
Okay.
So, like I said, Unsolved Mysteries Volume 3, Episode 6. I think it's called like What Happened to Josh or something like that.
This is on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That is the only source that I've found this theory on. Like my other sources, I didn't see anything about this.
Okay.
But they feature like the law enforcement officers, and they are pretty clear about their stance on this. They believe that this is
They have to have
the theory.
good reason for it.
Yeah.
'Cause, they know
Right.
more than us.
So years after they had taken like Josh's computer and all this,
Mhm.
they get an idea or technology develops something along those lines where they are able to look deeper into the hard drive, which can like see past the erasing of the internet history and all that stuff.
Okay.
Which like that's tech stuff way over my head. I have no idea. So they like look into it to see if like they can find out more about what happened around when he went missing. And they found out that Josh, or at least someone on his computer, but they strongly believe it was Josh, have been doing some pretty sketchy stuff using Yahoo Personals, which is kind of like Craigslist casual encounters, like back in the day. Like we have never done anything on Craigslist casual encounters, but we've definitely like scoped that out to see like what crazy stuff people are doing nowadays.
We used to look it up in college when we were in college at Taylor. Casual encounters section on Craigslist was freaking hilarious. It's probably not even there anymore.
Probably
I don't
not.
even know.
Probably not.
It's hilarious. People will be like,
But this was like before Tinder.
Walmart parking lot, put it at 10. Like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, it was seriously
They'd
like
be like, no weirdos.
it was seriously like the bathroom stall of the internet,
It
where it
was.
was
It
like
was sketchy.
super sketchy stuff. But like, so 2002. I mean, this is technically before when we were doing that. This is like a decade before. So maybe Yahoo Personals was like before
Yeah,
that.
it must have been. So what was he doing?
So this is weird.
Like selling feet pictures?
This is
or
weird.
something?
Okay. So the accounts from Josh's
Also,
computer.
no judgment if you sell feet pictures, because like, I'm almost there. We need some money, but
Stop. Absolutely stop.
it's almost Christmas time, Johnny.
Stop. The accounts from Josh's computer were actually pretending to be women looking for men.
Ew.
Yeah. So like one of the usernames was like Big Boobs Rhonda or something like that. Like I'm not kidding. And like as
terrible screen
yeah, it
name.
was. And then, see, like to me when I saw the screen names, I was like, those are super immature.
He would have come up with something even smarter.
And my
than
thing
that,
is
right?
like, this guy is impressive. Everybody, that's the word. He's impressive. He's a
like
future.
even if he was doing these sketchy things, like he would
would've
come
been
up
better
with
at it.
something than Big Boob Rhonda.
Yeah, like they were weird, and like it was
So like a
weird
lot
stuff.
of this activity was on his computer.
Yes, multiple accounts
On his computer.
on his computer, and like I said, law enforcement believes this was him. This was not somebody doing it on his computer. They believe
Setting
this
up
was him.
meetings.
So it wasn't like catfishing and like, oh, I'm trying to get stuff from you, but like conversations,
That's catfishing.
yeah, but like there was no like meetups. They couldn't find any like meetups scheduled or like where they actually like.
What was he doing?
Yeah, it was just like talking to dudes like pretending to be a girl, like online. No explanation why. Like I don't know why this could have been happening. Like I don't know what the purpose felt.
So he was into dudes, possibly.
So and like I said, impressive guy. Like he would have been better at this than using Yahoo Personals. I feel like, Maybe not.
I think you could have used Yahoo Personals, but the screen name gives me pause. But whatever.
I don't know. I guess things would like
solid evidence, though. I mean, you can't argue that.
Get dicey like in the conversations with these dudes. I don't know. Now, again, there were other people that could have been using Josh's computer. Law enforcement doesn't believe that.
I don't think they would have been able to use the computer for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, the thing is,
we've all used somebody else's computer, like Google directions somewhere, but like
super busy guy, so like computers unattended a lot. So like I'm taking all this with a grain of salt.
Yeah,
I guess.
but like,
but yeah, like the other thing too is like he was so like outspoken and like like wanted to be like in the public eye and
listen, people have secret lives,
and that's
what people do in their free time.
And
so what's the theory?
Well, here's the thing. Like, so when the police see this, they're like, oh, okay. So, like, he was gay and he was meeting people secretly. Like, maybe one of those went bad. Like, that's the theory the police have.
If you're a man and you think you're meeting Big Boob Rhonda and then some teenage guy shows up, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Well, probably not kill him. But I'm also not in that situation. So
maybe not kill him, but, like, somebody might.
I mean, so that's what police think. Like, that is the theory that police have.
I mean, that's a good theory.
But then again, why would you be like, hey, let's meet outside my friend's poker party at 12:30 on Saturday night on St. John's campus?
I mean, maybe somebody's picking him up out there.
I mean,
that doesn't explain his scent.
There's no phone activity that like leads us to believe that was happening. He didn't take his wallet. He didn't take his glasses. He didn't take anything.
No, I'm 100% on my Catholic conspiracy cult theory.
Well, and so here's the thing. So they get this theory.
Because his scent was in that building, right?
It was like outside the walls of the Abbey, and then it went inside the walls. Like it's like kind of like a little gated community back there. So like it was in the gated community, but it went to the back of a building, not in a building.
Sounds really cult-like.
I mean, no comment. But real quick, I want to get to this because this matters a lot to me here. So like they have this theory, and they're like, this was probably what happened. Like he probably like had set up an online encounter, and it went bad.
Fair.
At 12:30 at night on campus. Like, to me, if you're going to do something like this, it would need to be off of the Catholic school, campus. Like,
probably.
You know what I'm saying? Again, he's a super smart guy. So, like, a better plan than just, like, outside of a poker party at 12:30 at night, I guess. There's no phone activity either. So, it's not like he was, like, in constant communication. There had to be something he had to set up.
His phone with him, right?
Well, even then, it would have been, like, flip phone status back in the day. I don't know. So, they go to Katie. Mm-hmm. His girlfriend for like 5-6 years or whatever.
QOCK.
They're like, have you ever had any suspicions ever? And she's like, literally never. Like, that's not him. Like, when they told him like what was going on, she was like, that's not him. Like, that's 100% not him. When they talked to Nick about it, again, best friend who is not in great territory with him, they're like, have you ever
woken up with thoughts in your bed?
Yeah, no. He's like, no. Like, he was like, I've never once wondered that. Like, nothing has ever clued me into thinking that ever. And we've had a lot of conversations. Like he was like, never. They asked all of his friends. Like, nobody is like, not even one was like, you know what?
There was a vibe.
Like, no vibe at all. Parents did not believe this. Like they talked to one of his like best friends from high school. It was actually like it was another girl. It was like him, Katie, and this other girl. They were all like really close, and she was like obviously like he had some kind of secret that if he's the one that erased all the stuff on his computer, like he obviously had some kind of secret that he didn't want people to know. But I never once thought that like it would be that.
Wow.
So yeah. Like, law enforcement, though, they seem to believe, like, the guy's literally, like, the officer, the detective that is in the Netflix episode is like, I personally believe that he was met with foul play following a meeting that he set up here.
A gay meeting?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't buy it at all.
I mean, I could see it. When people go through to a lot of links to cover something like that up, especially in that time, back then, like it would be frowned upon to be gay.
Even though, I mean, more so than now. especially on a Catholic campus, but you
would think maybe somebody, especially on a Catholic campus, but maybe like if somebody like nobody came forward to be like, like that was my that was my secret boyfriend, or I had met up with him before.
Right. Well, and like there's like a list of like people that they want to talk to, and they have like pictures of them, and it's like a big list. Like it's on the Netflix documentary. They're like, do you know these people? We're still trying to talk to these people, and it's like 25 dudes that they want to talk to.
Where'd they find these dudes?
On the profiles that his like.
Ooh, we'll have to share those. That's creepy. There's also the possibility that one of them was, a professor or a monk on campus.
I mean, so that, like, honestly, when I found this out, I was like, man, was he trying to find one of those monks? Because he was doing this research paper. But then again, I feel like you would come up with better than, like...
Catfishing a monk?
I don't know. That whole piece there doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But yeah, that's like the theory that law enforcement believes. The family... I don't know if they, like, necessarily, like, came out and said this, but I think, like, the dad definitely hates the university. Like, he definitely, like, thinks that the abbot had something to do with this. The abbey.
I mean, if you, his scent was there, and they're all of a sudden like, oh, we don't want any dogs or anybody searching this property. Like, okay, why? What are you hiding?
His friend, like, Nick and Katie, like, they like, gut hunch believe that he's going to be, like, found in a lake there someday. Because they're like, where else could he have gone?
Yeah.
Like, even if somebody killed him there.
Yeah, like the monks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was thinking, my theories, or my gut says, the getting hit and then getting rid of his body, throw him in a lake or something, because he was, like, drunk driving hit. Or, I like my cult conspiracy theory that he was, like, about ready to expose. If there was that many sexual assault cases...
18. But the thing is, though, is, like, they were public knowledge. Like, they were all, like, in trouble. Like, it'd been, like, they got in trouble. It was, like, the monks keep getting in trouble.
Yeah.
It wasn't, like, hidden. Okay, you know what I'm saying?
Maybe...
But, yeah, I mean...
He knew something else.
Well, and, like, Nick said, his friend Nick was like, listen...
He was doing a paper, like, who was he going to expose?
His friend Nick said that, like, when he does something, he goes, like, hard on it. Like, when he does debates, like, he's not just going to win. He is, like, going to leave no doubt and bury you. So, like, what he was doing with that...
Perhaps he was about to expose the person that said no more searching on campus, or somebody big.
Maybe it was about to get crazy.
Somebody big.
That is my theory.
So you haven't said... There's one other theory that you haven't even said.
Which one's that?
What if he deleted his own computer history and just offed himself?
I mean...
Walked away.
There is...
What if he walked away that night? What if he's alive?
So, I don't believe that he would have ran away without his glasses and contacts.
Very true.
And that would have been easy. Like, he could have just taken those apart.
Yeah.
He also left money in his room.
Okay, so he started a new life. Maybe he unalived himself.
So, unaliving himself, he just had so much going for him. Like,
maybe he had a secret issue that he was struggling with.
And so, the only thing, again, was, like, wouldn't his body be found?
Yeah, that's true.
So here's the other thing, too. There was a car seen on campus around this time driving. Again, not a lot of...
you didn't say that.
So listen, they found the guy. I mean, they were like, hey, like this, and he was off campus, and so they were like, got his license plate because they like cameras and stuff, and so they were like, yeah, he's like, I went and dropped off like.
So he never was seen on any of these cameras.
No, because again, he went he's seen walking like the 5-minute walk home, but he had to have gone missing. Another thing is. The day after he went missing, like parents called it right away, right? Mm-hmm. They had a search dog that day. The police had a search dog that day. And that dog hit on a scent and went to that place in between the 2 pine shelves and stopped.
Like he got in a car.
Like he could have gotten a car. And for that reason alone, they end up discrediting Hoover, or the campus police says, you had 2 search dogs. Like the one that's trained by the police went and stopped. And this private one is the one that came over to the Abbey. Like, that dog is not credible.
See, that's what I was thinking. Like, if he did meet somebody, he'd be like, hey, just, like, I'm walking home to my apartment. Like, meet me. Give me a ride.
I mean...
Then he just got in the car.
Again, without any of his stuff. Like, without his glasses, without his wallet. I mean, I don't know. I don't like it. But, I mean, it's very possible.
Yeah, but
like,
those
it's very
casual
possible.
encounters that you're talking about, like, they're not going to last that long.
Yeah.
Hop in the car. Take a little lap around campus and come back. Like,
well, and again, maybe that's why he didn't tell anybody in the.
Exactly.
I mean,
he was going to come back to the party. Maybe
it's not a waitlist theory. It's not a waitlist theory at all.
No.
But yeah, I also don't think the monastery one is a waitlist theory either. So I gotta know what you guys think.
Who
Please.
freaking cleared? Somebody cleared a search history.
Yeah.
Somebody either cleared it because he was meeting men online and he cleared it himself, or somebody cleared it because he was about
Fake
ready
ID
to,
thing?
No, because he was about ready to.
But I mean, that's a factor
expose
too. Like all that stuff was
a
deleted off his
huge
computer.
Sexual ring of creepy Catholic people
Yeah.
on campus.
Yeah. It definitely, so many questions, so many theories. There's no way to know.
This is gonna be.
There's no way to know.
You're right. This is gonna be in my head for a long time now, rent free. Just what happened to him.
Man, this is one of our longest episodes. Guys, thanks for hanging with us. Please comment. We're going to have a lot of posts about this episode.
I want to know what you guys think.
Please comment your theory and what you think about this episode. Can't wait to hear from you guys. If you like Missing Midwest, you will love Murdered Midwest. For just $5 a month, you can get access to an extra episode each week, plus over 50 backlogged episodes. Subscribe using the link in the show notes. This podcast is a So.Will.I.Studos production. So will I.
Stanley Cleaning Company has an exciting new service they are offering, and I can't wait to tell you about it. Laundry. Yes, they will come to your house, and for $15 a load, they will pick it up, take it, wash it, dry it, fold it, and bring it back to you. This is something I have dreamed about since I became an adult and started doing laundry on my own. Hit them up and get your place cleaned and your laundry done by my friends over at Stanley Cleaning Company. You can find them on Facebook or give her a call or a text at 765-860-3606.